It's Madden NFL 23, and the focus is on Rock Ya-Sin, who has put together 32 tackles this season from his cornerback spot. It's the Raiders and the Steelers on Thursday.
And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. As we get a peek at the former number 2 overall pick, Mitchell Trubisky.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
That's a gain of 13 and a very solid opening play for this offense. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. First down, and they go back to Harris. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 46. Play action. Now Trubisky. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Trubisky. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the...
Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. In that time for the sack, say hello to Chandler Jones.
And every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Beckham, the return. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raiders set to go to work behind their veteran quarterback, and that's Derek Carr.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that, because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
Carr's throw taken in by Adams. Finding space at the 40. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone to get your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. And that CD, one heck of a run. He just refused to go down.
And that's where determination comes in, because he had at least a couple of guys had really good shots at him, but he just said, I don't think so. Speed, power, elusiveness, all on display right there. Look like you, partner, back in your salad days in Evansville.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that cause you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for in games like this.
On second down, this is Harris. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
On third down, Trubisky. He's going to look deep down the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Here's Presley Harvin now. Here's Beckham. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday, 72 hours later. Hey, it's game day again, but I have to think a Thursday night game in September much more preferable than a Thursday nighter in December, no?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned how tough it is on the body. How about the mind? You're already tired, fatigued, right? Trying to battle for playoff spots. And here you have the quick turnaround. Now, the flip side is, if you take care of business, win that Thursday nighter, you go into a mini open week. Gives you a few extra days to heal up the body and the mind before you play your next game.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 50 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. The Raiders had 8 and 5 to start play, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
Now Carr on the bootleg, rolling to his left. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. He was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10. Down at the 31. Here's Jacobs from the gun. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will extend their lead even further. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to a self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll run again with Harris. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Trubisky. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Pulled in at the 24. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand. start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 22 yards there, a first down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way, work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 31. Now a give to Jacobs running right, and he's going to get this one down to the 30. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 16. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And it's a fumble. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Harris going to get it again on 2nd down.
Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Trubisky will throw. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Time again to see Josh Jacobs and this Vegas offense operate.
He's had it working pretty well here in this first half up until that last drive when he put it on the turf, Charles.
So I don't think they want to overreact to that fumble, because now you've got a guy that's played so well. You don't want to take him and limit his effectiveness by worrying about it too much. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw him next week at meetings. He'd have a football with him at all times.
Rolling to his right. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Jacobs going to try the middle. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
84 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
To throw, it's Carr. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Touchdown, Raiders! Davante Adams, his 9th touchdown of the season. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense set to regain possession.
And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come all the way back in this game or not.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Flush to his right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Trubisky.
Quick completion here to Johnson. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now Trubisky on 1st down. Oh, this is going to be caught along the sidelines. Probably shouldn't have been caught. He's going to lose yardage there. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be 2nd down. Here's Trubisky to throw. And his throw here is incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Trubisky to throw again. Flushed out right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And this one's going toward the sideline. They'll try to play keep away from Beckham. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot it looks to be.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Raider offense ready to go here to start the 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield. That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And this is going to be a Raiders first down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
Here's a handoff to Jacobs.
It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 117 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. On second down, Jacobs. And he'll get this pretty close to a first down as he's tackled at the Steelers' 36. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Here's Carr to throw.
And, that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
And his kick is good. He just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2.
First and 10 here for Trubisky and the Steelers.
At their own 21.
Harris will start the drive out.
And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Trubisky.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Trubisky to throw.
Setting up the screen, Harris.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky.
It's Najee Harris now on back-to-back plays with a catch.
They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a a big 9-yard loss.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now here come the Raiders.
And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
132 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Here's Jacobs. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Here's Jacobs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
8 yards to go on 2nd down.
Now Carr.
Got a man. It's Darren Waller. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4.
Running it with Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Do you remember in preseason we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. It'll be a gain of 5. And that will bring up 2nd down.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Trubisky being chased out left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. Trubisky now to throw on 3rd down. Here's Johnson with a reception. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. And even 40 yards. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Trubisky. And his throw is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, it's Trubisky. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Here we go. It's Trubisky on 4th down. Going for the deep ball. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
What now?
Second down, Jacobs once more.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. On play action, now Carr.
On the out route, this is Adams with a catch.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
McCarr finding his former college teammate Adams there for the Raider first.
Counter play with Jacobs. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6.
Now a give up the middle. This is White. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
But they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for Las Vegas, the final 3 weeks are going to tell the story as they move to 9-5 on the year.
And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens.